violence.
Justice Department considers Comey charges.
We have to act fast. If they're not guilty, that's fine.
D.C. plane crash lawsuit.
Casey was betrayed by the systems he trusted. We all were.
Good morning, I'm Steve Kathan with the CBS World News Roundup. An investigation's in full swing after yesterday's deadly attack at an ICE field office in Dallas. One detainee was killed, 2 others critically wounded by a gunman who shot and killed himself. Here's CBS's Omar Villafranca.
Department of Homeland Security officials say a sniper perched himself on a rooftop and opened fire on an ICE field office in Dallas early Wednesday morning. Officials say the gunman shot 3 detainees in a van just outside the building, killing 1. No ICE agents were injured. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons.
There was no way he could have known detainees were in that vehicle. He was just indiscriminately shooting.
Lyons identified the shooter as 29-year-old Joshua John. The FBI pointed to a possible motive.
Early evidence from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
This violence may also have a chilling effect on immigrants who are pursuing legal status.
Very scary. I know a number of immigrants are going to be a lot more hesitant to make these check-ins, to go down to the courthouse.
President Trump is pushing for a criminal case against a former FBI director with a statute of limitations due to expire next week. CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarland.
Multiple sources familiar with the matter tell CBS News prosecutors are considering bringing a case against James Comey before a grand jury.
He was a terrible person, did terrible things.
The decision rests with Lindsay Halligan, a former Trump White House aide and confidant who was named the top prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia Monday, after Trump said he ousted the prior prosecutor who did not press forward with the case against Comey. On Saturday, Trump posted Comey and 2 other critics of the president, New York Attorney General Letitia James and California Senator Adam Schiff, should be criminally charged, saying that justice must be served now. Trump allies have accused Comey of lying to Congress 5 years ago this month when his testimony conflicted with other witnesses. Multiple reports say charges against Comey could include a count of perjury, an allegation he's denied.
The first of what's expected to be several wrongful death lawsuits has been filed in connection with the deadly mid-air collision near Washington, D.C. last winter. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
The wrongful death suit alleges American Airlines, the FAA, and U.S. Army, quote, utterly failed in their responsibilities to the traveling public. Casey Crafton died in the January mid-air collision. His wife is now suing. His brother Daley spoke Wednesday.
Casey was betrayed by the systems he trusted. We all were.
67 people died when an Army helicopter and an American Airlines regional jet collided in Washington, D.C. While the crash investigation is ongoing, the National Transportation Safety Board has found air traffic controllers at Reagan National Airport were doing multiple jobs that night. The Army helicopter was flying higher than it was supposed to, while several of the tower's radio messages were not fully received by that crew. The lawsuit also claims American Airlines manipulated and abused the system at DCA to maximize arrivals at busy times of day.
A possible government shutdown is less than a week away, which could mean thousands of government workers will be furloughed. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is in Washington.
Usually during a shutdown, so-called non-essential federal workers are furloughed and then paid back when it's over. But in a memo obtained by CBS News, the Office of Management and Budget tells agencies to consider laying off, or in government speak, to issue reduction in force notices to employees in programs that have what's known as discretionary funding that's set to run out on October 1st and are, quote, not consistent with the president's priorities. Democrats and Republicans are locked in a standoff as Tuesday's deadline approaches to keep the government funded. The battle's currently in the Senate. 60 votes are needed to pass a temporary spending plan, so it requires some Democratic support. And in exchange for their votes, Democrats want concessions like rolling back this year's Medicaid cuts and extending health insurance tax credits. President Trump canceled a meeting with Democratic congressional leaders that was scheduled for today, calling their demands ridiculous.
Overseas, correspondent Anna Corin has more on one of the strongest storms to hit Asia in years. It's blamed for more than 24 deaths in Taiwan and the Philippines.
Through rising floodwaters, rescuers carried residents out of their buildings to higher ground. A super typhoon Ragasa continued its path of destruction, hitting Guangdong province in southern China. Despite losing intensity as it made landfall, it still brought severe flooding and widespread damage. Earlier in the day, it pummeled Hong Kong, bringing hurricane-force winds, torrential rain, and a storm surge that showed the power of Mother Nature.
5 minutes after the hour.